Hey lifers, Break It Billy coming to you from the garage again, and the tube bender is together and we're going to be bending some tube, so stick around for this episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the garage, and we have the tube bender assembled. So in the previous episodes, which I have been working on building this tube bender and then adding this hydraulic ram to it to make it a whole lot easier to bend this tube. So if you want to check out those episodes, you can hit those right here. And if you just want to continue on this, we're going to first cover some of the components of this tube bender, what they do, and how everything works. So come on over and let's check this out.
Guys, so this is a hydraulic tube bender. And what that means is that there is a hydraulic ram attached to the tube bender, and that puts force on this arm to press in an outward direction to bend the tube over this die. The die is called a mandrel, and it's a specific type of bending where instead of where there's 3 points that it bends on, this actually forces the tube over this concave section right here to create the bend. This is a 6-inch die, so that means that the radius of this on the center line of the 1 3/4 tube will be 6 inches. So the center line of the tube is very important measurement when bending this tube. So there are a whole bunch of different pins, the center pin, and then the dial indicator of the bend itself. This hydraulic ram, in the previous episode, I created this bracketry system to attach this hydro ram in that orientation to the tube bender. It works off of a pneumatic section of this hydro ram, so it's air over hydro fluid. It uses a air compressor to force that fluid into the cylinder. I can still use it as a just straight hydro ram, so that pump still functions in a correct manner. As you can see, it's kind of moving out slightly as I action that pump. So in this episode, we're just going to go over bending a few tubes. I have schedule 40 tubing right here. I already been kind of messing around with it. So this is a 60-degree bend, 45-degree, and 30-degree. Guys, schedule 40 is not rated for chassis work like Reaper. This is strictly for kind of my own templates when I'm figuring out different stuff on Reaper and how I want to modify the front cage here. I am going to purchase 1 3/4 120 wall DOM tubing, which is the proper tubing for cage work when you're dealing with anything to do with an actual roll cage that will possibly take a hit. I have rolled this before, and this is the specific tube bender to create the correct bends for this style of cage work. So as I'm just messing around with it, getting to learn the tube bender itself, very important.
All right guys, so as I said, I have some schedule 40 tubing. I cut it down to about a 2-foot section, and we're going to insert this into the tube bender itself. So the tube goes through this section, gets placed through, and put into the strap on the back side. And then we tighten this bolt so it looks just like this. So I'm going to bring you over and show you what I just did.
All right, so I inserted the tube through here, and it's going through onto the mandrel section itself and goes right into the strap on the back side, which holds the tube. I'm going to leave approximately a 1/2 inch of tubing on the other side of that strap, just so I know And then we are going to start bending. It's kind of a loud process because the compressor does have to run to keep up with it. So here we go. So approximately we are at a 20, probably with spring brack, about 22 degrees. I do have to let the compressor catch up, but as we can see, it is bending that tube around this center die. And I'm gonna add a little bit more lubricant to this section, just help it slide through that outer die section. All right, so now with the die with this ram almost fully extended, what we have to do is we're going to reset this right here. So what we're going to do is pull this pin out, we're going to pull the arm back, and it's going to go back into this hole to continue to press through the full span. This die is rated at 120 degrees, so I'm going to go for a 90-degree bend right now. I've already made the few other bends, and so we're just going to keep rolling through with this. So we have to release the ram, which just did like that. We're going to pull it back a little bit until that pin becomes loose enough to come out. Which, there we go, just like so. And then we are going to pull this ram all the way back. Till that hole lines up, which we don't want the die to move, we just want the arm to move. All right, so back locked in, ready to go. We're gonna start this up again. All right, so once again, we need to reset to bring this back, and we're gonna keep that bend going right till we probably get to about 93 degrees because of spring back on the tube. So we'll be doing it just like this again. Reset, turn back closed to lock in that ram. 91, 92, about 93. We look like we're pretty much at a 90-degree bend. And release it. So that's that spring back in the tube. And we're gonna release this, pull this pin, pop it, get a little bit of a, and yeah, we're pretty locked onto that. Got to get a wrench to undo that screw. Three-quarter. No, that's 5/8. Oh. And trusty adjustable. And loosen everything up. Okay, that's loose. That one goes back there. And voila, we have a true 90-degree bend. Exactly what we were going for. A lot of moving pieces in this, let me tell you. So, got a little angle finder right here. We're gonna take it straight to 90. See how close we got it. There is a little bit of figuring out to do. Kind of hard with. But I'll try to go off center line. And yeah, we're almost at 90. Right there. So if we're looking at the center line of this tube right here, the center line of that tube, we're looking about right on 90. Close enough. As I said, these are just test bends, trying to figure out how everything works. It is a very messy process, obviously, but it did make that nice bend. All right, guys, so on that one, we just bent a 20-degree, pretty simple, straightforward, and exactly what I was looking for. You know, it's pretty straightforward to use the bender itself. I think it's kind of foolproof. I think the real challenge is going to be keeping the center lines of the tubes and all that kind of stuff and angling everything correctly when using this. But the air, hydraulic, pneumatic makes this so easy to bend tubing. I'm not going to have to like ratchet this system. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to tune into the channel, hit that like and subscribe button, because you're gonna stay up to date with all the stuff that we're going to be doing on Reaper in the upcoming future. And we're gonna be using this, we're gonna be using the welder, we're going to be having a lot of fun bending some tube. So, see you out on the trails. Big Jeep wave to you. See you on the next episode.